We're gonna add me, and we'll get rid of the music. Want to welcome everybody to today's Tomato Talk. It is August 30th. August 30th. This is a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday, and what does that mean? Well, it means Monday we went through Saturday's photos. Today we're gonna go through yesterday or Sunday's photos and share a little bit about what happened over there at the track. Another solid day. Really, just a whole lot of fun. Got a chance to meet some very interesting people as we went through the entire day. Got down there a little bit earlier. This way, I was able to meet some folks in that tech area. Wander around the. Let's go here. Wander around in the pits and spoke to a few of the drivers that were up in the staging lanes too. That's right. Those are the areas before they actually come up to where the starters, where the track officials are going to bring them forward. I got to get the terminology right on some of these things. And there we go. See, you're wondering, it's like, oh, is there going to be a business message in there? Or are we just going to watch, the photos? Hey, at least it's not. You remember those days, the family photos. You got to watch the photos. These are the pictures we took on our vacation down to, well, we went to Florida. Visited my grandparents down there. Oh, we took the photos. We made them into slides, not a slide deck, slides, slides. Went to the Kennedy Space Center. Oh, we so it was actually. I don't mean to make fun of this stuff, man. I just had a ball doing it. It was cool. Got to find those pictures. Oh my gosh, they are such a long time ago. Such a long time ago. That was in the oh, I would say early 70s. Do the math. We'll find some cars here from the 70s. I think there's a couple of oh, it was a Roadrunner, I think, from the 70s. That you'll see the picture on that one there too. But still got to work on the. Hey, Teddy, I got to work on another haircut over here. But yeah, remember how boring it was sitting there doing that, watching. Oh, you come over. I want you to see our family photos, see those vacation slides, stuff like this. Like, ah, you know what? It gets boring. It definitely gets boring. I hopefully this does not get boring. I certainly hope not. But here's the business tie-in on the whole thing. It's like, when we're presenting, when we're going someplace, when we're asked about, hey, what's new? It'd be the networking event or those kind of things, or even if it's at something a little bit more, let's say, less formal from a business aspect. Oh, look, we got Labor Day weekend coming up. A lot of picnics, barbecues, meeting friends, family, meeting friends of family members, a lot of social interaction, that's coming up. Even when you're taking your kids up, if you haven't done that already, you're taking your kids up, your students up, to colleges. You're dropping them off and stuff like that. You're interacting with people, you know, and every time you do interact with people, they want to know, hey, like, who are you? What do you do? When you college students, same kind of thing. You know, there is some balance in there where you want to give your story, but you don't want to give your whole entire life story. So when you're showing the photos, when you want to go, the family vacation, a couple shows you where you're at. You're at the beach, you're at the Kennedy Space Center, you're in Wyoming, you're in Colorado, you're in wherever you're at the racetrack, maybe even, who knows? But not every little detail of it. You don't need to go through all 100 and whatever photos of the whole thing. So I edited this down. I took 55 photos that day. Not a whole lot in the scheme of things. There was somebody else that they put up an album up, and there was 191 photos. Beautiful shots, really was. Also want to get over to Matt's. Let me look for that right now, actually, before we get going further into everything. But Matt Was, who had been taking photos um, at the track. Let's see what MattWatts.com. Let's see if that comes up. He was taking photos at the track, so that was great. And his photos definitely cool. As that you'll see from the photos I took, because most of the photos I took on that one were from the other way around. So I'm taking the cars as they're leaving. He's taking the cars as they are coming in. So there is the difference on that one. There it is, Matt Was. Matty Was. That's it, not Matt Was. MattyWass.com. I'll leave that up. Maybe we can get posting it over there. Let's go to comments and look at that. Matt took Matt for photos. Boy, I should have paid attention to typing in high school. From racetrack, not street. Okay, so you got it up over there, that kind of thing. So that's all set there. We're good. Let's go back here. So what do you say? Let's jump into it. Go take a look at some of these photos that we got here. So let's go share screen, and Chrome tab. No. And that is what we're looking at over here. All right. So these are my photos. So I'm taking them from Steve Shack. And again, I'm the one behind the starting line. That would be the starting line up there, whether you see the tree. So this is my angle of the cars going forward. Now you got Florida license plates over here. I don't know if this person drove up from Florida specific to come over here. I did think that this was just, your regular family car stuff until he started ripping down that track. Did a fine job getting down over there. By the way, that little black, well, you got the Christmas tree over here, and that little black box that you see over there. There's a number of them. That's throughout the track. That is meant to be on the track. We got our Corvette. Constantly getting these questions like, what are the kind of cars that are coming down, over there? See, some of them are just flat out street cars. Some of them are sport street cars. Obviously, this one falls into that category as it goes. This one too. So what I was waiting for on these, from the timing standpoint, was to show some action going on. So I was waiting for the green light myself, and then waiting for them to kind of get started. So this one, I don't see any smoke from the tires, but you can see it kind of sitting in a little bit. So he's in the process, or she's in the process of accelerating. Definitely an interesting mix of men and women driving these cars. That's one that I will definitely highlight. Also, quite a few people bringing passengers along for the ride. You will notice everybody's wearing helmets straight up across the board, the rest of that stuff. And there's other safety gear that goes along with this whole thing, but definitely wearing helmets. And many of those passengers also, they had their camera out over there. So hoping we could find some of these videos when they get posted, or as they get posted along the way. All right, our next shot over here. So this one, I was taking a look at that. It's like, how come it's all kind of hazy on the right, clear on the left, and it's going to be some of the tire smoke. I think that's what did it over there. But certainly, if you are taking photos, make sure your lenses are clean before you leave your house. Don't wait till you get there. That's another thing. A whole big checklist of different things that need to take place. So if you're going to bring the camera, by all means do, and this falls true in the business world too, before you leave the house to go to anything, make sure you got everything together. Think it through. So in the case with the camera, make sure the batteries were charged. Make sure I had both lenses. I had a telephoto and a regular lens that I brought with me. I did bring some tripods, never broke them out. It just became cumbersome to do that. But certainly brought the camera out over there. Brought a notebook. One thing I did learn from doing this, and could apply this to networking events too, take notes. So I had the car numbers. If I was able to check, I had the car numbers, maybe the person's name I could get, or I could get a little bit later on. Then some note, with the car. I started doing that. Certainly can improve on it. So got a number of weekends left over here. So I'm going to continue to improve that and a few other things as we move along over here. All right, next car. This, again, we don't have tire smoke over here, so the picture's much clearer, and also the direction of the sun is a little bit different. And again, you should speak to Matty, our photographer, or your friends who are photographers, about how to really get a good photo. I'm on this learning curve over here. So the direction of the sun versus the camera as the sun hits the lens gonna make it a little bit not as clear either. But lighting is everything, everything. So I got another professional photographer a couple of years back. I was like, "Your photos are just like so different than mine, and even if I stood in the same spot, I'm not getting anything like that." So it's lighting. It's always about the lighting. Sometimes the lighting you see, sun. Other times it's not the lighting you see, it's the lighting that's being projected there, those reflector. And there's no way I'm using that over here. But some of those reflection things and other lighting that they would put on the side just to light up different areas. It's interesting. And it's not totally dissimilar to here. I don't know, I haven't put any effort into behind me here lately. It's not dissimilar to that. And you could do, it was a video I did with Donna Drake on that one, how to set up the background. And she went into that a little bit. That was interesting. All right, here we go. I believe we are now, I forget the exact year of that one. I think it was in the 70s, 76, 77, something like that. But really good. That gentleman that you see over there, the staff, he is paying attention to a whole lot of things. He's definitely not just sitting there, paying attention to a whole lot of things, making sure those cars line up, making sure the windows are up, doors are closed, things like that, all that safety thing. And then when he's satisfied and both of those cars are staged, he's pressing the button. I think I got another photo of that one, with somebody, and that's going to get that tree lit up. All right, here we go. This one is Jason Dobry. Jason is 7 years old. If you're going down there this weekend, September 3rd, it's Junior Bragster Day. So, exactly how many Junior Dragsters are going to be there, I don't have that information, but there'll be quite a few. It'll be unbelievable to watch these young drivers, young NHRA licensed drivers go down this track. Just incredible. So here's the takeaway on this one is those eyes. Look at the concentration. Look at the concentration on those eyes. That gentleman is focused, unbelievably focused. And I wish I was at a little bit better angle to get that one, but he's paying attention to exactly what he needs to pay attention to. Not everything else that's going on, but what he needs to. Laser focus on that one. Big stuff. Of course, you got the engine back there too. Just a photo. Not terrible. And there is crew chief, Dad. So what he's doing here is he's getting staged. So there's two, oh, there we go, the little box. So the cone, the traffic cone that's on the left-hand side, the smaller one, you'll see a little white box over there. There's two little, well, they look like dots at this side of things. But those are laser beams coming across. First one is to get the car pre-staged. That would be the top white light. Second light is going to be the staging light. That's when the second light is lit. And then when the start is happy, away we go. Then I press the starter button, and then the lights turn amber, eventually to green. That kind of thing over here. And that's it. That is Jason heading off down the track. Dad paying close attention to everything that's going on. I'm sure getting a little bit of feedback. This photo is Jason right there. He gets it. He paid attention to everything when he was in that car, and then he paid attention to the other thing once he got out of the car. The fans. The fans. It's all about the fans. And this guy, as he continues on, as he continues to see success in this whole thing, watch him. Watch him. It could be absolutely amazing, and he gets the whole, it certainly seems like he gets the whole entire picture. Operating the car, taking instructions, does a great job of driving, quick reaction time on the whole thing. And he's personable on top of it all. And that's a great combination, winning combination. We'll see how that progresses on, but that's definitely a winning combination. All right, a few more cars. We got our Ford not getting ready to go. He's in the process of going. Got the green light and on his way. Got our Chevelle is all set. Also another one ready to go. And in the process of going, you can see the tires kind of, I'll say squished down. That's the wrong word, I'm sure. But whatever. As he's get that car forward momentum began. We got to work on that. All right, you folks here that are probably dying after I said that one. Got to give me proper terminology. I know the car's hooked up, stuff like that. It goes. Maybe that's the word over here. But you got to get that going. All right, here we go. This is our passenger passenger photo. Got the camera. What was funny here, and this is still photo, so obviously it's not going to show through. But when that light turned green, that camera shot a picture of the ceiling of that car, went straight up to the roof. It was kind of funny. She like zoom went flying back. So, and I know the feeling. Yeah, I was a passenger at one point in time, and one of these it was in the Jeep, and when that car goes, man, it gets goes. You just throw them back, in the seat. So you know, sit back further, and you learn from that experience too. So fun stuff. It's another one. It's our starter. He's got the little button over here. You can see our fans are having a good time. All age groups involved in this one. All age groups, and the Heinz Enterprises food truck too. It's that's a great thing. They're doing there is they're hiring students from the high school, from the Riverhead High School, to operate that thing. Great learning experience. So many places, which is actually the thing I want to kind of highlight next go round, next weekend, is the fact that all these junior dragsters that are down there. That's another sort of photo. But the junior dragsters that are there, get a chance to highlight the young drivers. So old Grand National car is what I was told. But you get a chance to highlight the young drivers, absolutely, but also to highlight this whole impact that I think this thing would have on not so much the education system, but certainly the students that are participating in various programs that would lead up to something like this. And like this is not just the cars, right? It's not just the cars, although I mean we can take a look at this car here, right? You've got so many things going on here that could be applied in the school setting, right? We've got on the you got the engine side of it, you've got the transmission side of it too, gear ratios, things like that. How much tire pressure to put in the car. They're all fancy formulas for all of these things that are way beyond my level of knowledge on everything like that. But you got that. So you got engine, you got transmission, tires, chassis, the body of the car itself, the painting that goes along with it, the promotion of everything. Do we have and you got a teenager driving this car too, by the way. That's says on the window. And you also have the promotion, of the car. Do they get sponsors for this car or not? It doesn't look like they have any sponsors over here, but maybe they do in the back. So you got that opportunity too, even within the school systems. Like, how do you put together a deck, in order to promote the car, the visibility of the car, the social media aspect of it, and businesses that would benefit from being in front of the audiences that are here, audience that attend the event, and then you, if you weren't there, getting a chance to see this thing here. So, the visibility is massive. That's the one great thing about this world of social media. It's just that it's so much easier. There's a lot of things a lot harder to tell, but it's so much easier to take a photo and have it seen potentially have it seen by the world. Challenge is that who do you want to get that in front of? You got digital marketing tossed into the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, I could just keep going on and on, but so if this car, this driver, this teenager wanted to get sponsorship for the car, how do they do that? Right? You need the photos, that's a photographer. You need the digital marketing specialist. You probably need a PR person too, media connection. So you got a lot of different professions getting tossed into the equation over here. And then if you have an event, you now need an event specialist. You need someone, that can help to promote that event. We take a look at some of the sponsors that were here, some of the car sponsors that were there. We use Brown's Automotive as the example. You know, you like cars, it's great. You don't know how to work on cars? Hey, you know what? That's fine. But you want to be around that whole industry? You just gotta love that. Maybe the changes that are taking place in the whole thing. You know what? And you're an event planner. That's what one of the things that some of the people do over there at Brown's Automotive. Somebody's in charge of the marketing, advertising, promotion of Browns. Same thing with all these other companies. You got people that are there, maybe full time, maybe part time, whatever, but so many aspects of it. And where can you learn all of that stuff? In my opinion, where should that stuff be learned? In the high schools, right? In the high schools, because or at least to have the students exposed to these things in the high schools. That's why I think this is a great catalyst. And this is not the only catalyst, of course. I have a number of schools that have connected really, really well with a lot of businesses in our community that have now created these internal programs inside the school system. Whereas, the hospitals are working with students at some of the schools, to work on the nursing program. So for students to learn the basics of nursing, and they're affiliated with the school, with Stony Brook, and maybe some of the other hospitals. So maybe they're getting some degrees, maybe they're getting that firsthand experience, maybe they're getting internships. Could be great. So it doesn't matter what. In fact, there's a few folks that are part of the ECNY Foundation. I'm a board member of that are solely focused on internships. One gentleman, Michael Tedisco, solely focused on internships. What are the details? Reach out to Michael. You'll find out that way. But the point is that the students, if we could keep creating these catalysts, these things, these events, the reason for businesses to be involved with the schools, where it doesn't cost the schools any or much money, but it gives the opportunity for these students that are in high school, maybe junior high, maybe even younger, to see what's possible out there. I think that'd be great. It addresses a whole bunch of different things, but I think that'd be great. I know I personally, I really wished somebody paid attention to what the heck I was doing in elementary school all the way on up. I actually found reasons to be in the front of the room. I didn't know. I found reasons to be in the front of the room, that kind of thing. I wish I pursued that. I wish I pursued that a little bit more, from a career standpoint. I would have had a different career path than what I have right now, that kind of thing. I did find that, and I stress this unbelievably, communication skills are so incredibly important. Look, I'm having a great time out there with the announcing and stuff like that, but there are other times too, whereas you get business opportunities that pop up, just finding opportunities because you're able to communicate, and you're not going to sit in the room with everybody and understand, look, there's a problem someplace. Information needs to be shared with people, but I'm too afraid to do that. I can't do that. Well, you know what? Then you're not going to get that opportunity. Should you see this and you do have the confidence to communicate, to stand up in front of a room, maybe you're sharing information. It's just not really great information, but it has to be done. You got yourself an opportunity there, and you have an opportunity to separate yourself from everybody else, because most people are just deathly afraid of standing up in front of a room and speaking about anything, let alone standing in front of a room and speaking about something that's not really an easy thing, but something that you do need to know. You now become a great resource. So think about that one as you go through the whole thing there. That is really super important, I must tell you. Hello, Gary. Good to see you. That is really super important as that goes. All right, our next photo that we have over here. Let's move along, and that will be our 1937 pickup, I believe it was. Don't recall exactly, but you get the point. Car shows, another place for event planners and all the rest of that stuff. Old Mustang, great stuff. That's Pit Crew that you got sitting here in the foreground. Definitely focused. I set my aperture over there to focus just on the car, and everything else gets blurry. That is actually by design. Maybe we'll change that around a little bit. This way, the Race America sign is clear, but so be it. There's another one. Getting around the pit area. There's a couple of people who brought little vehicles. Don't walk the whole thing. Bring your camera. Doing that whole thing. Let's go. There's Mr. Dobry again. Oh, I cut off the front wheels. Oh, what a shame. There we go. There's Jason getting ready to get that car lined up and all set to go. He'll be out there this weekend. We'll work on that again. Back to our Mustang, Babylon Performance. We'll send that photo over to them. That's the stage. So the first light, the top white light, that's pre-stage. That's the first set of lights that they come to. And then the second series of lights that their car is moving up to, that would be staged. And when they start, is all good with everything. This is 1967. There we go. Then he presses the button, lights go amber, and eventually green. That kind of thing. There you go. He's car's got the green light. That kind of thing. You see the difference there. Let's just go back. Car's waiting. And now car's going. Power has been applied. There's another one. And looks like we're moving along here on this one. Yep, 69. Yep, I think I said that was in the 70s. 69 car. And there she is. We're getting down to the last two photos over here. That, my friends, behind the wheel is Allison. Allison is the driver of that vehicle. Allison family have been working on that car for the last 3 years. Prior to that, that car was sitting in a barn for about 45 years. They have done an unbelievable job with that car. I had a great time talking about it throughout the day, and went over there afterwards when I was leaving, and she was grateful because what happened there is that a whole bunch of folks came over to see and speak to her about the car and doing that whole thing. So I thought that was like just really cool. So Allison, really honored to be able to have done that. This was, this is just quite a story. An historical car, 1955. There was so many cars. He had cars from the 30s and 40s, racing cars from the 2020s. 50-year difference, 60-year difference in many of these things. And they're just out there having a grand old time, racing against each other, racing against themselves, meeting in the pit area. Everybody's got they got the chairs, tables set up. They came down there early. They brought bagels, coffee, and all set up. If I'd known, I would have showed up even earlier. Stopped over there for breakfast. But they were just so gracious with everything. And even the Dobry family. I was talking to one of the other cars in the staging lane. I was like, oh yeah, love telling that story about them, the junior dragsters, and how unbelievably diversified it is there with the age and everything, with the cars, all that kind of stuff. And look, oh yeah, we're related to them. I was like, who's not related to who over here? So many people related to so many different groups, families, tons of friends. And I think from their perspective, flat out their perspective, one of the think the big draws for this has for them is the fact that everybody could go. It's not taking an entire weekend out to go drive 200 miles to go to a race someplace and not have to worry about staying over and everything else that goes along with that. This is, hey, we'll meet you there later kind of thing. You go, take the car, you go through tech, you get yourself set up. We'll be down there. Come down a couple hours later, stay for a few hours, and just enjoy a few hours over at the track. Watch the cars, take some photos, well, have some bagels, and do that whole thing. All right, let's get rid of that. We're going to bring me back. We're 30 minutes, 21 seconds. So that is where the whole thing is at. And without a doubt, I'm going to comb my hand next time around. Or maybe put the keyboard on this side. This way, it's this side of the head. Hey, look, hopefully we'll see you this weekend. Doug, thanks for joining us over here, and everybody else on the Facebook and YouTube and the rest of that kind of stuff. And those of you who listen on a little bit later, on this whole thing. This weekend, the Junior Dragsters is great. Next weekend, Beat the Heat. That's great. I've spoke to a few people about coming on as guests to explain out some of the things that are going on over here. And then we're also going to branch out into a few other folks beyond the racing community to go and do this. But I want to leave you with one thought. And really, I'm going to focus here on the communication side of things. Because this whole thing would not have happened unless I was asked by a radio station to do a panel discussion. I said yes. And then I said, what did I get into? But it's the confidence of doing stuff. It's the confidence on your side of things with doing things. You have the ability to do things that are so much greater than what you might even think you can. And I know Doug, my wife Karen, have both accomplished some amazing things along the way. What's possible? There are some limitations. I get it, but then there's a lot of other things that actually create opportunities because maybe of some of those other limitations. Am I getting behind the wheel of a car? If I did, I wouldn't be getting behind that microphone and doing this thing. So is that good or bad? And maybe I should drive the car to get the experience of it, but that's about that. That's not the desire. That's not the talent or anything like that, that I have. Certainly not working on cars. That ain't happening, So there's a lot of things that can happen. We just need to have the confidence to go out there and do that. Making phone calls, meeting people, telling them what's going on. When I end this thing with, you do inspire people, well, the reality is you do inspire people. You just got to know that. So definitely speak well, speak often, and live inspired. You will, you do, and you always should inspire others to be more than what they think they can be, because they can be a lot more than their own little set of limitations along the way. We'll see you tomorrow.